Week has just gotten worse and more terrible than I thought. The two most dangerous and most monstrous people in the world are now just set aside by the big government, and a lot of people are mad, and me too, because the justice system is actual absolute dog water. And I really didn't want to. I really wanted to make this video, but I kind of want to see the first one, which is P Diddy with the Diddy trials, had something to do with the end of the trial, almost the end of the trial, because I didn't believe that the trial was almost over, but then I do believe that there were going to be more stuff or being be found out. But instead of finding good news that I was promised for the better days, I just got hit with some worser news. The recent Epstein files that we've all waiting for, the Epstein documents, the papers. I got the papers right here. I suddenly just said, nope, they don't exist. There is no Epstein files. There is no Epstein at all. It could be. So why is this happening? And who am I? Which one do we discuss first? Well, let's talk about the first one, P Diddy. Obviously, I made a video about like a few weeks, maybe a few months ago, about P Diddy being arrested, and this man is actually a demon. This man is an actual demon. If the demon slayers exist, P Diddy and Epstein will probably be the upper rank ones and twos, or even like Muzan Kibutsuji. I'm getting too weavish. Let's avoid that. And then we're gonna have to, fight their goons, so we can, defeat them. What I'm saying is the first is P Diddy trials. It just ended in a few days ago, and like I said, I didn't want to make the video until like the absolute end of the trial because I didn't get enough of it. I don't know when is the end of the trials. I don't know how the American justice court system works, or the justice system, for say, how it works. Then I realized there's more bad news, and I realized it's already over. So why is everybody mad? Well, absolutely, P Diddy just got released. He just got a slap of the wrist and then just send them off. Well, not specifically. So let me explain. He is being sued for 5 things. There are some, all of them are terrible, let's just say. But there are some light sentences. And there are one of the sentences that is racketeering, and if you don't know what that is, then go look it up. You'll find out that he was not guilty.
As the news networks went live with the breaking news.
Racketeering, not guilty.
He was found not guilty of racketeering, the most serious charge. He was also found not guilty on 2 counts of sex trafficking. But he was found guilty on 2 lesser charges.
He was found guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Each carries a maximum of 10 years behind bars.
The jury's verdict was a resounding rejection of singer Cassie Ventura's riveting testimony about the freak-offs she says she endured in her years as Combs' girlfriend.
We're pleased to light everything that has happened in this trial. I just spoke with her and with the U.S. Attorney's Office team, and she's in a good place.
No, she's not. No, she's not pleased. She's not happy. I'm pretty sure she's really pissed off. She's crying right now because this evil man, is now literally getting the life sentence ever. So you heard what they said. He was charged with 5 things, and all the worst things that he could be charged with, and with a lot of evidence, did not come in as guilty. He was not guilty of those 3 of them. He was guilty of 2 things, and those were light sentences. 20 years. Now, to think of first, yes, 20 years sounds like, it's, I think it's a fair punishment. No, it's not. P Diddy has done worse things than Genghis Khan could have ever done. I don't know why was he not found guilty on the other 3 charges, and surprisingly, all the serious ones are considered not guilty, and the ones that are not serious are literally the 2 ones that are not serious. They're giving him light sentences, and that is the stupidest thing I ever heard in my entire life. The jury is probably cooked. And I don't know how did he get out of this. Maybe he oiled himself with enough baby oil to slip himself out of the justice system. Who knows?
Ultimately, he receives a substantial sentence for what he's done.
But experts say realistically, he faces far lesser time behind bars, years max. And with Sean Diddy Combs finally knowing that he will not spend the rest of his life behind.
And that is the most suckiest thing I've ever heard. Sure, 20 years in prison, he's gonna come out. But I'm pretty sure the prisoners there, I hope God, or I don't know, I won't put him in this. I hope that the prisoners in his prison cell, I hope he is in public prison. I hope that every prisoner in there, wherever he is, gives him one hell of a time. I hope P. Diddy would never sleep in his cell at peace. I hope he never sleeps with both eyes open. He's going to have to sleep with one eye open. I hope he clenches his, cheeks really tight. I hope he has a shank. Every single prisoner has a shank, but they didn't stab him until to death. He just stabs him on the throat and then just tortures him. I hope that he's actually being tortured in there for as long as possible. If those 20 years are a little short, then I hope those 20 years could be absolute hell for him. I hope that the prisoners will, torture him or something. Maybe not kill him, because oofing people is not enough for me. Okay. Thinking about me is I don't believe in death immediately. I think torturing is really important, and I sound like a crazy psycho guy, but people who do deserve it, who doesn't regret, like P. Diddy, the diddler, the oil man, should be sentenced to that. It's somewhat torture. It's crazy to think that this man is not just free, and then there's some people who actually celebrate it, and I'm not kidding with you. There are some people who celebrate and put baby oil all around their bodies. Dude, P. Diddy is not gonna let you get into the free cops doc. He's not letting you in. He's going to be in prison, and he's going to be in hell. And I hope that is possible. I don't know why P. Diddy supporters exist, but you could be the sweetest peaches in the peach tree, but there's gonna be always that someone who doesn't like peaches. That's always the thing. Now let's look at subject number 2, Epstein. Now Epstein is no longer with us. He is going to the bottom pits, the core of the planet Earth, the HE double hockey sticks. I hope so. But just a few days ago, literally yesterday, or probably today, the White House was supposed to bring out the Epstein files to say, I got the Epstein files right here, and it's out there. We're going to read it, and they didn't read it. And they said, nope, there is no Epstein files.
Epstein files and the conspiracy theories officially being rejected. Overnight, the FBI and Justice Department releasing 11 hours of footage they say helps confirm notorious financier Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide in his Manhattan jail cell in 2019, awaiting his sex trafficking trial. According to a memo detailing the findings, investigators found the video showed no one entering the area in the overnight hours before Epstein was found unresponsive. But perhaps the biggest bombshell, investigators say they found no incriminating client list of Epstein's, no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, and no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. He's been at the center of conspiracies surrounding both his death and a rumored client list allegedly used to blackmail powerful men. Was asked if the Justice Department intended to release a list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients, Bondi saying this.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive, reviewing that.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
And now that today is the day that I have the files, I declared, no, there is no Epstein files. Those letters I sent to you, no, those aren't real. I was just joking, guys. There was no Epstein files. There was no papers there were no papers in my desk, and I'm going to tell the names. There's no such thing. Now, there were a ton of evidence of Epstein, doing heinous things and blackmailing people, and he truly is evil. And there are tons of evidence that Mr. Epstein did not oof himself and banish himself to the shadow room by his own hand. because there were a few people said there was a few minutes of the video being cut, and some people says that that's not even his jail cell. He was just recording in a different jail cell. So, what am I saying here? I'm saying is that sucks. And the reason why people, the conspiracy theories are like, why wasn't every Epstein file released? Why where Epstein files? And the answer is because Trump was in the Epstein files because they were friends. Well, I guess they were friends before, or they were business partners. Who knows? He was in the Epstein files, and no one wants to show him because the Epstein files, he has his name, and I wouldn't want to snitch on myself, wouldn't I? Now, avoid all the politics stuff, and let's just go on to the humanitarian stuff. I think this is absolute bantapoodoo. This is stupid, and this is disgusting that the government and the justice system is so evil that releasing these files is the forefront of justice right now, because the important thing of what we're talking about is people that are in higher power, that have higher status, have more money than your average Joe here, can able to do heinous things and get away with it, and that is the stupidest thing, and that's something that everybody hates. There's going to be no Epstein files, and I'm pretty sure the government in the near future is going to say there's no Epstein files, there's no Epstein Island ever, and then they're just going to blow up the island and just make sure it never exists, and then maybe a few years later, Epstein doesn't exist. That was just a ruse. It was all in the dreams. You guys are in your matrix. It was just all, you were all sleeping in the matrix, and none of this is real. Which I think that is the most evilest thing if you ever wanted to censor not history, but to censor justice that isn't served. That means that the higher ups are absolutely hiding it. And here's I'm not going to start an uprising or anything, but it just shows that the people are higher power. P. Diddy, Epstein, or Kelly, or whoever it is, the people who have enough money have the power to literally shut anyone up, and they have some kind of, I don't want to be conspiracy theories. I'm not gonna put the tinfoil hat on top of my head, but obviously there's something something shady is going on, and the shady things are terrible. Now, I said the title is I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure it's not the 100% my answer. Why were they released and given a light sentence, and why they were not shown? So why are these two diddlers, these two child fear mongers? Yes, I'm gonna call it child fear mongers because they spread fear, or if you hate them, you're not afraid. I think there is my reason of why these guys are getting light sentences and why they're not being shown. My first initial thought is because money. If you don't have the dough, If you don't have the dough, then you can't be let go, and that is my whole thing. So let me tell you about a bit of my opinion on some things, such as I don't believe I believe their whole fight is not about the world. Is not about racism or this race or that race or this religion. It's always about the rich versus the poor. And I don't want to say eat the rich and everything. I just wanted to say, hey, maybe we need to stand up. You let one ant stand, because the guys on the top will say, you let one ant stand up to us, and then they all stand up to us. And it's kind of true. And because, the people who are in the higher ups, who has money and who are actually evil, do these things. There are some good people who has money and has done really great things and don't deserve it. But there's always got to be that one bad apple, or a bunch of bad apples in the apple basket. They can give you money. They can give money to the jury to shut them up. They can give money to the government to shut them up, and they can do that. They can bribe, this thing called bribery, and then they call that's it, bribery. How much am I supposed to say? My second opinion of why these people are getting light sentences is threat. Yes, being threatened. I'm pretty sure Diddy has a group that he probably has a group that takes care of things and pays people visits if they don't do this and that. And the answer to that is obviously because he was hiding stuff and people were evidence. like it's basically the mafia. P Diddy and R. Kelly are almost like the mafia. If you say this and that, if you leak this and that, I will come up and pay you a visit like that. I gotta do something with you. You better hide those files, and you better gotta hide all of those, evidence in the videos, or we're gonna pay you a visit, or we're gonna go visit your family and pay them a visit. You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Jury? Or not? Your kid and your 30-year-old and your wife are gonna have the problems that we're gonna have. We're gonna have some problems, and you don't want to have problems with us, right? That was literally the worst mafia accent ever, because I don't want to make good accents. But I want to tell you that it could be that the jury or someone they're secretly being threatened, and they couldn't say and do anything because evil people like Diddy and Epstein has like goons and like evil people, soldiers not soldiers, maybe like insiders who are threatening them, that tell them, hey, don't do this or we will come after you and your family. And that sucks. And I hope someday, if they are, they will tell the truth, and you will get, and the perpetrators won't get away with it. But it still guts to the other thing, money, because they pay people to do those things. Yeah, money, and money is these people in power, like the rich, are always trying to hide something because they do have the power, but they don't actually have the power. They just give the power to other people. Okay, let's start with the whole conspiracy thing. I sound like conspiracy. Maybe I do need to put the tinfoil hat in my head. But what I'm saying is, this sucks. The whole thing sucks, and I don't like it. And this just making people think that the rest of the people who works in a daily job, who just work finding a home for other people and filling up bellies for their families, are just being used as pawns and stupid people, and think that, hey, we don't really care, and we don't want to know, but we do want to know, and we do want justice, and we do want these people punished, and give them a heavy sentence, because without a heavy sentence, they can get away with this, and it's not fair. So that's really messed up. Anyways, that sucks. I hate it so much. Maybe this is not a really great ranting video because it took a really long time. But anyways, that's pretty much it about screw all the bad people out there, and I hope people who are good stay good, and people who are bad, may they find good, whatever they are, may they come to the light or something. See ya.